Check it, check. Hello, boys and girls. We have missed some super chats. Guys, with the super chats, I seriously drop the extra 25 cents and don't give me abbreviated stuff because it just takes more of our time, yours included. So Fred Friedman saw a regular, we all know him, regular on the show. He was kind enough to send me the two super chats. I mean, we'll bang out one real quickly and then one more involved one that Fred paid for. And it's important, so I'm not going to curse or swear because it's going to advance the conversation. And I don't think it's going to solve anything, but I don't really aim for solving problems. I at least aim to understand them because with understanding comes sanity. And I think that's the best, at least intellectually honest people can hope for is sanity, because delusional people will never be happy because they're delusional. They're not living in the real world. So the competent man for $2 said, Roosh said, used to say a guy had to ask out 100 girls. Yes. We were talking about this before about the guy who wanted to learn how to be more confident when he was approaching or dating girls. And you have to ask out 100 girls, which, shoot, I blew through that in middle school probably. You have to, it's just like anything else. You just got to get used to it and get used to the rejection so you can get over it. So there we go. Now, more intellectual here thought, and Fred just butchered it with trying to squeeze it. It says, yes, sorry, the super chats give us word limits sometimes. Well, then donate more money or send in a request over at Asshole Consulting. So I was trying to squeeze it all in. The following is a more clear version of what I was trying to say. I went on a date with a hot redhead with a PhD in a STEM field yesterday, winning. She was very non-committal about the date because she could not decide whether to meet me up for the date or go block the highway with the BLM protesters. Why would you go out with? Why? Well, you just say, oh, well, why don't you go have fun? Maybe we'll hook up some other time. She ended up coming on the date about 8 minutes late. Not too bad. Then a black Trump supporter who is the general manager of the bar stopped by our table while on the date and lamented that the BLM protesters were trying to block the street not too far from the bar. So he was afraid he would have to shut things down early that night. The PH girl responded to him, I just came from that, with a proud smile. He gave me some social proof by telling her, don't worry, you are good with this guy. Also, how much, that's cool that he read the situation that quickly and still threw you one over the plate. Also, how much can one pay to hire Chad Elkins as a wingman? Well, you fly him out there, so you gotta get him probably, well, he doesn't drive, so you gotta haul him all over the place. I don't know. Email him, elkinscpa.com. Find out what it costs. All right, so let's go over this very quickly. This is very important because I don't think you boys are getting it. You're not getting it. You're not getting the memo. You didn't get the message. I don't know how many times women have got to tell you that they don't need you. They literally say that. But you still hold out hope. So one, she's PhD, so she's an academic and admittedly in the STEM field. But if you never dip your toe in the real world, this is an academic. STEM or not, if you're an academic, you're pretty worthless. So let's keep that in mind. But look, guys, if we go way back in time, we could start at my generation, maybe go a little bit before. But way back in my day, here's little Aaron. 1981, 6-year-old. I can't mention her name. I wish I could because she was such a vile woman. But not only her, but every teacher I had up until graduating from college, not every teacher, but especially in middle school, it started that early on, guys, 1980, 1981. We little 5- and 6-year-old boys were constantly reminded that girls could do anything we could do. Women are and you know, you're like, okay, fine. We're not, boys still picked on the girls. The girls still picked on boys or girls. Girls like, the She-Man Woman Haters Club with Alfalfa in the gang, as things normally were back in those days. But my point is, going as far back as Reagan's first administration, you had teachers already going in on the sex war, already indoctrinating little kids on the sex war, right? That's how amoral they were, and how little scruples they had. They would grab little 5- and 6-year-old kids and immediately start weaponizing themselves against each other. Now we got to fast forward 40 years. Right? And we also have to keep in mind there are successive younger generations since Reagan's first administration that have been steeped even more and more and more. It wasn't turned up to 15. It was certainly there. This indoctrination that women didn't need men and women were equal, and by God, you better and girls can do anything. And all that did was get turned up more and more and more each successive year, each new generation of kindergartners they got through, to now where the dating generation, which is the younger millennials and Gen Zers, the courting generations, they have been thoroughly steeped and indoctrinated within this sex war, within this feminism. Right? And you boys have got to realize that what women have been not just told, but 100% success, total success. Don't tell me this one gal you know is I'm not telling you. It is an amazing feat of social engineering. They got basically 2 full generations, 2.5 generations. Maybe you could argue 3 with the boomers there, but they got pretty much every young lady today to value her politics more than the love of a husband and children, more than her family, more than her biological imperative. Right? They got rid of the men. I don't know why. Feminists just didn't want. I don't know why. We can ask why. We'll never get the answer. It doesn't matter why. But they say you don't need a man. Do you guys remember that much? Do we remember hearing that somewhere along the way? Okay, good. And they have replaced husband and children with a career and above all is politics. And the reason you say, so now you're coming up to me saying like, why do they do this? Here's a girl in IT and she's really intelligent, a PhD. No doubt she is. And she's pretty too. So you're like, okay, she could have. It doesn't matter. They have been successfully conditioned and brainwashed to replace any form of traditionalism, biology, kids, husband, family. And they replaced it not just with their career, but their politics. Because let me ask you this. Let's say you take away love and family. Let's say you take away your spouse, your children. You can't have a spouse and children. What is a human, male or female, have left in their lives? Well, now, if you're in the lower Maslow's hierarchy of needs, ask such lofty questions. Poor people starving in Africa, they don't, what existential, moral, Socratic, see how I did that there? Philosophical, what are my point and purpose and meaning in life? Like, boy, I hope there's some clean water today and there's not alligators in the pond. That's their main concern. But if you're in a first world country where everything is bought and paid for, you don't worry about water, you don't worry about food, you don't worry about, you're so pampered. No doubt this young lady has other taxpayers paying for her PhD. Like everything is taken to the point you have the luxury to go protest, right? Block streets or whatever it is. If your Maslow's hierarchy of needs are taken care of to such a high level, but you've eliminated love and family and children, your biological needs, what's left? Well, you got a career, okay, you got to work. So that's certainly something there. We could say that's self-actualization. But more spiritually, and because we can't have traditional religion because, I believe in a God in the sky. Oh, you believed a bum who lived off of Engels' father, and he said everything should be free. His name was Marx. Believe in something that has even less proof than Christianity. Anyway, they got to have some kind of religion. They have to have some kind of spirituality. And right there, man, they get angry with the leftists all you want. They knew what they were doing. They absolutely knew what they were doing. They replaced God and family. What was it? America, God, family, and country or whatever. They replaced it with communism, with socialism. Whatever its variant is. It could be environmentalism. It could be feminism. It could be helping out Black people, minorities, women, closing wage gaps, whatever it is. That is all they have in life. They didn't have to work for the food, clothing, and shelter. Their job's kind of taken care of. It's a hobby. It gives them point and purpose. They've had everything expunged from them. Brilliantly so. I don't know how you override biology. Now, deep down inside, I think some of these women still do want to get married and have kids. Maybe that's what they want in the heart of hearts. Again, we don't care what people have in the hearts of hearts. We only care what kind of actions they take in the real world. And it's very and painfully clear that young women today value their politics their religion, their spirituality, more than they care for men or women or children and family. And so, okay, she could have a PhD in STEM. She could be very logical. That's good. But what was the brainwashing? What was the conditioning this woman received for 20 years? And PhD, 25, you start school. Yeah, 2 decades. You don't need and from all quarters of society. Mom, dad was probably complicit. Whatever you want to hear. You could do anything. And I'm very pro women in STEM because that's a productive field. But from the media, from their teachers, all the way to the professors, the 20 years in school, what did you think was going to happen? and the irony, here's your poor buddy who's the general manager. He happens to be black. He's a conservative or whatever, Trump supporter. He's not a Marxist. And his business is going to fail or not fail, be threatened by this. And she just can't. I was going to go with them. She did. Do you think she even has the intellectual independent thought to assess the situation? Kind of like your GM buddy did, like, hey, here's one over the plate for you. The situational awareness, she's really good at calculus, really good at physics, really good at whatever, chemistry, whatever her field is in, but she's not independent thinking. I am shocked to this day how both men and women are complete NPCs. They'll do whatever their teachers told them to do. They'll believe whatever their teachers told them to believe. And after 20 years, dude, it's pretty well ensconced. It's pretty well entrenched. This is why you're not going to get, you could, how long can you go having an intellectual conversation with a leftist or a Marxist or a feminist or whatever before you point out some data and now you're a racist? How long does it take from zero to be calling an ist or an ism? Like what, 5 seconds? Like how long does that take? And it's not because they've ever been forced to critically think and analyze and know the underworkings of their, you get a good communist, if there's such a thing, a socialist, they'll explain different economic theories, pull different economic data. They'll cite the Scandinavian countries, not just, well, look at Norway. They'd say, well, look at this specific mixed market kind of thing. There's some of them, but they're the rare exception. These people just blindly parrot their, people blindly parrot the Nicene Creed. I went to church because I had to. The irony that they mock or ridicule Christians for just blindly believing in a God in the cloud in the sky and the guy nailed to a plank of wood, but then they'll go believe this literal bum with a beard from the 1840s and ignore the 100 million people that kind of starved. I'm sorry. There's not a lot of independent-minded people, let alone women in general out there, especially that age. And I know you boys, because you don't ignore your biological probe. I don't know how you can, because you guys are like, well, I kind of like sex. You guys keep going in there, okay, get the girls, and okay, the husband and wife, and marriage, and family, and this and that. And then you're like, boy, they're really committed to their politics. They're really committed to their careers. Of course they are. That's what they're programmed to do. And you can almost say the more a young lady claims to be an independent-minded woman, I'm a strong, independent woman, you look at it, it's the complete opposite. They're collecting a government check, they're demanding student loan bailouts, they live off their parents, they live off the government. Their job, their entire profession is completely dependent upon taking money from taxpayers, of which they would never pay for. Anyway, like roads or defense, you pay for that. But, social work or some nonprofit grant or something like that. I know you see a gal. You might even see an intelligent gal. She can have witty conversation and banter, right? But if you now introduce life goals that run contrary to her politics, to her programming, she's going to zonk out on you. Or she'll call you an ist or an ism. But she is not programmed to want to have a husband and kids. Biologically, yes. Frontal lobes, no. Completely now, what chaos and struggle and strife and pain and misery that causes within a woman's own psyche, the cognitive dissonance is enough to level up a city. That's not our problem. You can only deal with what's delivered to you in the real world. And for the most part, most young women today put their politics and religion, politics above everything else because they've never been conditioned or introduced to the concept that there might be something more important. That's all they have. And so when you guys go, and I know it's kind of boring, and you say, well, that's kind of closed-minded. Well, do you want to save time and some worry and stress and struggle when you go on the dating apps or whatever? Just go through the robots, man. The limitless number of grains of sand on the beach that are all the exact same. Feminist, swipe left or right, whatever it is. If you like Trump, liberal arts, kids someday, I like to travel and drink wine. Again, we'll have a more interesting conversation with my buddy Chappy. Chapstick right here. Me and my buddy Chappy will have more interesting conversation because you're not talking to a human anymore. It's not a person. It is a robot. It is an NPC. It's utterly predictable. And you guys expecting to fall in, and I know you got to fall in love with a human being. Well, I'm sorry. You have robots. We have female robots that above all of their primary programming is essentially socialism, variance, feminism, racial equality, whatever you want to call it. All right. And you guys go out there, oh my God, they're just like all leftists. That's all they talk about. Yes. Oh my God, this thing is chapstick. When I pull the cap off, it's chapstick. All it does is, it's lip balm. It's not conversing back to me about the difference between Keynesian economics and Austrian economics. It doesn't make me laugh or giggle. It's programmed to be chapstick. And you guys got to realize most young women today are programmed to be socialists. That's it. What do you want? And then how exciting of a conversation is that? Yeah, man, let's fight poverty. Well, yeah. I'm for the children too. Oh, scintillating conversation. How do we end black poverty? Well, I got a book here called The Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty. It talks about self-responsibility. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that an idea you weren't introduced to? Something you disagree with? Therefore, I must be racist, ironically writing a book. I mean, right. Why? The first sign should have been when she says, I'm going to go to the protest. That should have been your first sign. Okay. I mean, really, what you guys got to do, just try this. Go online in your searching profiles. All right. You want to find the rare gals? Search gun. Because, I mean, that's going to be the number. Like, whoa, she likes guns. Well, now that's different now, isn't it? I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm talking a statistical observation. That's the rare. That's the maybe not the guaranteed to be a diamond in the rough, but you're going in the right place now because she's different. She's not an NPC, not a Borg member. This guy, you guys, let me reach out to you liberal or Democrat men. Maybe you're a blue collar Democrat. You're sick and tired of boring women. I know you may not politically agree with guns, but why don't you go out with a gal that likes shooting guns? You're going to have a different conversation. On your dating profile thing, search, I don't know, cars, mechanics, search archery, search hunting, search something that, because guys, there are not a dime a dozen. There are a scintilla, a gross of these mass-produced. Yes, you're a Democrat. Okay, I know you don't like Trump. You're for Black Lives. I know. You major in the okay. You're doing it. Oh, you could if you can finish their sentences. And you could see it. You can see it's in the dating profile. What? This other girl with her liberal art degree and complaining about student loan debt who likes to travel and drink wine. What? You think she's going to be different? Oh, this one's different. Now, I admit a PhD in STEM. Okay, I probably would have bit. But the second she was, I got to go to the BLM. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, maybe we can meet up later some other time. Why don't you hit me up when you got some free time? And then delete. Dude, your life is too short too. Did you have fun, huh? Did you have fun at the event? Not the event. Did you have fun did you end up paying, I bet, too? Did you really enjoy having a conversation with that girl? Or do you want your 2 hours back or however much time you spent on that? I mean, I'm trying to save you guys time and stress, and above all else, the mental energy that has to go into it. Dude, just don't even bother. Women love their politics. And until there's an indication that their politics do not come first, that they've put something else in front of their lives other than their politics or career or education. Usually they're all kind of combined together. You're dating Chappy. You're dating chapstick. At least this has a use because again, lip balm. Oh, there we go. No chip laps. You go out with a girl who's going to be like, oh, headache. Oh, geez. Oh. It's not even politics. It's statistics. Like, do you want to have vanilla ice cream for the rest of your day? Or do you want to have a little bit of Rocky Road? Maybe a little bit of Oreo cookie? Maybe some mint chocolate chip? Okay, yeah. Okay, we all know. Yes, ladies. Trillions of gallons, family-size 5-gallon buckets of vanilla ice cream. We got it. Leftists, you care about the okay. Give me something else. Just give me anything else. Anything. There you go. All right, any super chats? No super chats, no super chats. Boom. All right. If you guys are bored, take a quick look at a couple of the books on how to become a millennial. There'd be one for the ladies here. This could be for Gen Z, how to find a guy. It's Curse of the High IQ. That's another one you guys might run into. What else? Bachelor Economics. This is a good book. Bachelor Economics. Has nothing to do really. Well, there's some tidbits about dating in there, but that's all right. All right. There you go. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.